Have you ever opened your Bible, read an entire chapter, and immediately forgot what you even read? This video is for you. I want to sit here and tell you how to get rid of the pressures of reading your Bible. Because more often than not, the pressures come from the world. They don't come from God himself. And so when we fall into the trap of these pressures, which is, how long did you read the Bible? Did you read your Bible today? Did you read an entire chapter? Did you read it fully? Do you understand it? Do you know what is happening? Do you know what's going on? Were you able to even were you able to announce the name properly? Like, all of these little things are of the world, okay? However, yes, these things have meaning, but it's not what God is looking for. He's not grading you. He's not jotting down and saying, oh my goodness, did John just read his whole entire Bible, or did Sarah just read her whole entire Bible? No, he's literally just genuinely looking for your heart. He knows your heart. At the end of the day, he knows your heart. And when you read the Bible, if you're somebody like me, you read it because you want to know more. You want to know who he is. You want to know what this thing is, right? You want to know what it feels like. Who is this God people talk about? Who is this God that people believe so much and people give so much credit to, right? Because that was me too. I was there too, okay? And not only because of what other people said, because I've had my own relationship. I had my own time where he would show up, but I still didn't know him, but he still showed up. Even when I had no idea who he was, he still showed up, because that's just who he is. And when he gives us those nudges, and it's just a simple nudge, it might be a way that he shows us his love and his care for us. So then when he shows up, these things showed up so much that I was like, okay, who are you? Like, you keep popping up in my life. How can I get into a deeper relationship, a meaningful relationship, right? It's like that one person you just randomly always see, you're constantly seeing them, and you're like, yo, is this person supposed to be in my life? Because I see them so much, like either whether you're continually shopping at the stores or somewhere, you just constantly see this person, right? And finally, you guys end up having a conversation, and so it be so. Like, you guys have like a really great relationship. And that can just be the start of it, right? Same thing with having a relationship with God. It's not like he's sitting here grading you. And I used to see it like a school assignment, like, oh my goodness, did I read it right? Did I understand it? Do I know what it's saying? Like, these questions are just worldly questions, because it goes back to the school trap. The school trap gives you these tests, right? Because they want to grade you on it. And if you fail them, you fail the whole entire class, and you fail, and then now you're a failure, because that's what they want you to feel like. But he's not here to ask you anything. He's really just genuinely looking into your heart. He wants to see what your intentions is, and he knows your intentions before you even put them out. So, all right, now let me just tell you, let me give you some really good stuff on how to remove the worldly questions of when, how, who, what, where, why, right? And instead have a more meaningful connection, have a more intimate relationship with God, have a more loving relationship with God, because that's who he is, right? So to begin, my first suggestion to you is that when you first begin to read the Bible, I highly recommend that you can start with one verse. You can start with one paragraph, okay? You don't have to read an entire chapter. You don't have to understand it, but you can just start. Simply start. I remember when I first started my journey with walking with God, I would just had read one verse that, mind you, I didn't even read from picking up the Bible. I read because I was driving down somewhere and I saw it on a board, and I believe it said something like the chapter verse is like Philippians chapter 4 verse 1 or something along those lines. And so I researched it, and then I'm like, what is this? And then I held it. Like, that's the verse that I held, and it helped me for so many years, especially when I was in my most weakest, darkest moment. I would always go back to that verse, which is, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And that just let me know that these things that I'm going through in life are way above me. But guess what? It's not for me to carry. It's for him to carry. And so when I've learned to go through those journeys, when I've gotten through those moments and I felt weak and I felt like small, I would just be like, you know what? I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So I would just leave it to him, and I would continue to push forward with strength, because I got it from him, because I gave it to him. I gave him the things that was weighing me down, and in return he gave me his strength to push forward. And so I've learned to eventually, as I started walking, that's just the one verse that got me through it all. Now, eventually, when I really started to get deeper and want to know who he was and really want to build a relationship with him, that's when, of course, I got into reading more scriptures. Now, side note, one thing that I do is I will play a Bible app. I will start it, any chapter, any book, I don't care. If it's something that is in my heart, something I just read, something I saw, like, I'll just start there and I'll just play through while I'm in the shower, like as if I'm listening to music, while I'm going to sleep. Like, I will play it through, and more often than not, I start to remember names. I start to remember what they did, who they were, how powerful they were, the authority they carried. I can start seeing pictures. I can envision how they were feeling. I can feel it, right? Because that's what audible like hearing does, and you can hear it. When you hear it, it gives you that sense of feeling, right? And so when I started to listen to the Bible, it helped me to get more deeper. Now, as I read the Bible, I am quick to be like, oh, I remember this because I heard it somewhere, right? And I heard it somewhere. And sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, okay, Paul, like, do you know? And I go right back to sleep because it's just what I'm just listening to it. It's just by nature. It's just something that just falls into your subconscious, and that's where you want it to be, because our subconscious is really what moves the whole entire of our reality. So that's a side note. Now, of course, but if you want to read your Bible, when you read your Bible, you can just start with a sentence, start with a paragraph, start with, like, you don't have to read the full chapter. You don't have to even know everything. You don't even have to know, like, first of all, I wouldn't even suggest you try to remember names. Now, what I will suggest, though, is if you are new, extremely new, and this is something I wish somebody would have told me, because I've always wanted to start with Genesis, I would highly recommend you start with the first four chapters of the New Testament, which is Mark, Luke, John, and Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, right? So when you read those first 4 chapters, they will help you, not even just like, it gives you the whole gist of the idea of the Bible, but it gives you Jesus himself. It brings you Jesus himself. It gives you who he was, how he acted, when he felt things. Especially if you listen to the audio, like when he felt things. The one that I've recently been experiencing is that he wept. Like, Jesus Christ wept, although he was so powerful, right? He lived a sinless life. Like, he still felt the emotions that I feel. He still felt what I felt. And guess what? That to me is such much more beautiful than having to know what the whole Bible tells me, right? So my recommendation to you is really just read the first 4 chapters. Now, of course, as life go deeper, as you get deeper into your walk with God, the other chapters are important because they help build up the foundation of the character that God is for himself. So without Proverbs, I wouldn't have known that, be still. In any moment, be still. Without Psalms, I wouldn't have known that, I can walk through the darkest valley and I will fear no evil, because that's what all the other chapters bring in. However, the simple way is to read the first 4 chapters, so that way you can just get the gist of who Jesus himself is, God's son is. And then as you read the entire Bible, you'll start to know who God is for himself, his character, his true nature, right? Because one thing about it, though, and one thing that's important about reading the whole entire Bible, is that you will realize he doesn't lie. He doesn't know he can't lie. He just can't lie. And so as you learn to see the Bible for itself and see human beings be human beings through this whole journey, you will only feel more confident to walk in your identity, in your purpose, in your calling, because that's what he's called you to do, and you know who gave it to you, right? You know whose you are. You walk so powerful because you start to know who you are and whose you are, right? And so my gift to you with all this is I have a free devotional for those who are just starting. This is just something that might get you going if you want to read some or you want to answer some questions as you read your Bible. Or the one question simply when you are reading the Bible is not asking how can this help me, but how am I seeing God through this? That is the most powerful question you could really ask, is what is God's character through this? What is God showing me through this? Because at the end, everything that we do is for him. And so With that being said, my name is Jessica. If you're new here, I'm a faith-based channel. I love to talk about all things God. And of course, if you've made it this far, please subscribe. Help me grow this community so I can help more people learn how to walk with God. With that being said, I love you guys. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.